I just got done watching all 5 episodes of the latest MCU series, Echo. This series follows Maya Lopez venturing back to her hometown, where she reconnects with her family and indigenous roots as Kingpin returns to reconnect with his niece. Echo is a spin-off of my favourite Disney Plus show, Hawkeye, in which Maya was introduced. In that series, she was badass, and that continues here. This is the first TVMA project in the MCU, and it really goes for it, with some very brutal action, not quite on the level of the Netflix shows, but definitely more risque than this universe has gone so far. It is also helped by one-shot fight scenes in the vein of Daredevil, where we get to see her true capabilities. The choreography is surprisingly great too on these scenes, and is delivered very well by Alaka Hawks. Honestly, this is some of the best action we've seen yet in the MCU, and I'm really hoping it keeps this good for the rest of the saga. Alaka Cox does a fantastic job here as our leading lady. She gives an emotional performance that is even more enhanced by the signing. Alaka is very good at emoting and facial expressions. Maya has a pretty good arc here, but it is unclear whether the show wants you to root for her or not. She had such an empowering triumph over Kingpin, harnessing the power of her ancestors who echo through her to stop him. I'm happy she found family again in the Choctaw after her dad's tragic death. Her suit was also pretty cool. She was just missing the iconic handprint. I'd also like to give a shout out to Darnell Basor, who is just so adorable as Little Maya, and also does a great job here with the acting. A lot of people are only watching this show for Daredevil and Kingpin, and if you're one of those people, you might be disappointed. Daredevil only appears in one quick scene, but it's a very effective and important scene. It is the best fight in the whole season, and really adds another layer into Fisk's respect for Maya. Kingpin has a much larger role and serves as the season's main villain, but takes a backseat in the middle episodes where his goons do a lot of dirty work. We get more lore about this Kingpin, which ties him even more to the Defenders universe and even canonizes it. We get to see more of a bond between him and Maya. He is definitely a bit too forgiving, which is very surprising towards Maya, who attempts to kill him multiple times, but he still remains quite a ruthless character, more in the vein of the Netflix series, which I think we all needed after the campy variation in Hawkeye. I love how he was defeated, but was surprised that Maya let him flee. I guess that's just a setup for his mayoral campaign in Daredevil Born Again, which is teased in an excellent post-credit scene. The show builds up an excellent supporting cast for our anti-hero. Biscuits is the clear standout, as he is hilarious, but Chula and Scully are also very interesting and complex characters. The one family member I didn't care for much was Bonnie, who was set up to have a much larger role than she did. Another large part of this show is the Choctaw Nation. I'm so glad a usually unheard section of the world is getting a voice in such a popular form of media, and I'm glad the show's creators collaborated with the community. My major gripe with this aspect of the show is the black and white sequences. I get that it was a tribute to old westerns, but it just didn't fit with the rest of the show and made me connect less with those characters. This show is groundbreaking with its representation, not just for the Choctaw community, but also the deaf community. It has some amazing scenes, especially action ones, where we hear Maya's point of view, which is clear with a little bit of noise if it's loud enough. You get an inside look at how challenging it is, which only adds to your appreciation of Maya's amazing fighting skills. I really hope this resonates with the deaf community. Now I'll be doing a deep dive into each episode, starting off with the first one, which is by far the best. It added way more depth and context to Maya and her relationship to Kingpin, helped amazingly by the Daredevil fight sequence, which isn't just a fun cameo. It is the first time Kingpin truly sees Maya's capabilities as a fighter, as she was able to make his greatest enemy run away. We also learn more about her past and family. The episode made me care about this character and showed what she was all about in a clear and interesting way. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Episode 2 is probably my second favourite of the bunch. It is carried by a very wholesome Biscuits, but has other great elements like Maya's quest to show Kingpin's goons who his boss. I like that she went through that impressively well done train sequence just to get a bomb to blow up their workshop. She's asserting her dominance and I love to see it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Episode 3 takes a pivot for the worse, going from my 2 favourites to my least favourite. Its focal point is the unnecessary and underdeveloped relationship between Maya and Bonnie, which is at its worst here, which is neither actress's fault, they just did not have enough time to connect. Those gang members with country accents were also super annoying. This episode was also the one with the black and white flashback, which did not really work and would have been better in colour. Honestly, the best part of this one is the cliffhanger ending. I'll give it a 6. Episode 4 probably comes in third place. It does follow the unfortunate Disney Plus trend of a slow penultimate episode, but it still manages to stay interesting enough with a great explanation of Kingpin's backstory and connection with Maya, culminating in a powerful confrontation between the two, where Maya chooses not to seek revenge. The conversation between Chula and Maya was very emotional and well done, despite being entirely in ASL, and it sets up the finale quite well. It was a bit boring in some parts, but overall I'll give it a 7. The finale was my second least favourite episode of the bunch, but it was still great. It was cool to see Maya finally suit up for a confrontation with Kingpin, but I wish her suit was more comic accurate. As I said before, her ancestors echoing through her to help her fight Kingpin was a powerful moment, but could have been executed better. The acting in the scene between Maya and her mother was shockingly bad for this show. I got so upset when Chula fell into the hands of Kingpin, which just goes to show how Echo has made us care about these characters in a short amount of time. Bonnie was still not great here, and she suddenly became like a Black Widow level fighter in one bit. It was like really weird. Maya's power set was also a bit confusing, as it was said to be healing, but then she transports Fisk to his childhood memories, which was a great scene, but didn't really fit into the context of her power set. I guess it was trying to make Kingpin heal or whatever, I don't know. It was a bit disappointing that in a show full of great action, the final fight isn't even a fight. It just felt anticlimactic. The post-credits scene did give hope for this universe as it set up Daredevil Born Again perfectly. I'll give this episode a 6.5. Those ratings average out to a 7.3, which is about what I'd give this. It is a gritty, emotional, and character-driven show that felt like the good Marvel Netflix seasons. It started off very strong and went downhill, but still was a great time that added more depth to the characters of Echo and Kingpin. It really gives me hope for Daredevil Born Again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay updated on when the latest movie news and reviews come out. Have a great day!